This story began a couple of decades ago when I moved from country South Australia to the city, and I'd always been an avid bike rider, dirt bikes and road bikes, but moving to the city I had a bike for a while, and with the traffic and a job that didn't allow a lot of spare time to ride meant that I slowly sort of gave it up. And as I said, that was over 2 decades ago. But about 10 years ago, I moved back to the country and thought about buying a bike, but one thing or another meant that I couldn't have one, or couldn't get one. But just before Christmas, only 6 months ago, I decided to step back on a bike. So I bought myself a Honda Shadow 750, a mid-sized cruiser, because I'm 58 years old and I've had a hip replacement, and I didn't think that I could get back onto a sports bike with the riding position. So I got back on a cruiser, and if I'm brutally honest, it was probably one of the best things I've ever done. It started with just a few rides, and as I said, I've only had the bike 6 months, but I've clocked up 5,000 kilometres on the bike, and really enjoying it. And I think it's got a lot to do with things that I saw during COVID, when there was little we could do, but my thoughts were get myself a bike, and when there's times when you've got nothing on and feel like getting out and just being by yourself, the bike's the perfect way to do it. The bike I chose, as I said, was a cruiser, a mid-sized cruiser, and when I got the bike, I realised that I might love it, but I might not enjoy it either after so long of being without a bike. But I'm loving it, and whether it's a 15-minute ride after work or a whole day with a few guys and on a long ride somewhere, or with my partner on the back just for a ride to a local country town and stop for lunch, or just stop for smoke at a bakery and have a cup of coffee and something to eat. It's a real experience that makes me realise how much I missed it. As I said, I'm on this mid-sized cruiser, but even after 6 months, I'm already thinking about a bigger bike, something to set up for touring, so that we can load the saddlebags up and put something in the luggage bag and do some moto camping, or just stay in motels and have a look around South Australia or interstate. And I've never been a fair weather rider, so the moto camping side of things interests me. There's plenty of places around South Australia where you can pay a small overnight fee, or a lot of free camps around the place as well. I've set the bike up, I've got myself some decent panniers, some decent solid leather bags for the back. The bike's got a full-size screen, which I'm finding a little bit hard to get used to. But with a few more longer rides, and I'm intending on putting a seat, American manufactured longer distance seat, because the standard seat on the bike is a little bit uncomfortable after a couple of hours actually. But it's a decision I've made that I'm glad I did, and I'll be doing a lot more long rides in the near future with my partner and by myself as well. But if you're thinking about it and you've had the thoughts of getting back on a bike, give it a try. I did it on a bit of a budget just to see whether I was ready to get back on a bike, and I'll be looking at getting something a little bit bigger, but there's nothing wrong with the 750. It's quite capable. A lot of guys travel all over the place on the mid-size Japanese cruisers, but just the feeling of getting out there and doing it, I'd recommend doing it if you're thinking about it. There's so many different facets to it. I've met quite a few guys that ride, all in the over 50s club with a few grey beards and a few grey hairs. But these guys enjoy it as much as what I do, and the camaraderie and mateship that you build on those sort of rides is incredible. So yeah, it's not something I've just dived straight back into. I thought about it long and hard, and whether time permitted for me to get out and ride a bike, because when you look at some of the bikes now, when I was choosing a bike, it was there's a lot of cruisers out there especially that have 10, 15, 20 years old that have done 3 or 4 or 5,000 kilometres. So you can pick up a good bike relatively cheap, and a lot of them haven't done a hell of a lot of miles. So yeah, anyway, that's my introduction back into motorcycling. Best thing I've done in a long time, and could recommend it to everybody. So thanks very much for watching. Keep an eye on the channel for more videos coming up. As I said, moto camping, some local rides to interesting destinations, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks very much for watching.